Hello and welcome to Candid Convos with Jona Dance. My name is Monique Jonas. I'm the founder of Jona Dance and your host for today's episode. Here at Candid Convos, I have the wonderful pleasure of inviting lovely guests to join me in conversation about pretty much anything and everything contemporary dance and the wider dance industry here in the UK. I'm very pleased to announce that we are on YouTube, Spotify, and now Apple Podcast as well. So you have a multiple choice of platforms to tune in with Candid Convos. If you prefer video like me, we're there on YouTube. If you prefer audio, we have now 2 options for you. So please continue to engage with Candid Convos, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff so we can continue to bring you many more Candid Convos. And on that note, I'm very, very excited to introduce my lovely guest for today, longtime friend, creative, artist, and wonderful human, Ihsaan De Banya. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I feel a little bit nervous now. Like, you're so professional. It's so, legitimate. So I'm trying to put my best foot forward.
Well, you can come as you are because your best foot is already here and present. The outfit's fire. So
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Great to have you on the podcast, flown in. Not especially for this, but I appreciate it.
But it is flown in for sure. It is exactly that.
Yes, you arrived yesterday? Today?
Yesterday afternoon.
Okay, flying from Norway?
No, from France. We
From
came
France?
from France, straight from performance.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit of intense travel to get here. But we're on holiday now and I'm here. So I'm ready.
Amazing. I mean, I feel like it's the real life of a performer, artist, kind of just like juggling all those things. So welcome to the reality of it, I guess.
No, it's true. Also, I mean, I think even in this little travel that we had disruption on the way to the performance and had to travel on the day of the show. But even this, before we did it, there was lots of discussion around, should we do this? Is this okay? Which had one dancer be like, you know what, this is not going to be good for my knee. I'm injured. I'm not coming.
So wait, I know we're not even into the episode yet. I'm like, wait, so did this dancer not come?
Yeah, no, he didn't come.
Fair play.
We were sat in the airport and when we learned that we had to fly a different route through London overnight and then travel on the day of the performance, he was like, travel's not good for my bones and I know that the piece we were doing is really intense.
Yeah.
He was like, I won't be able to kind of like hold back and it's not going to be good for me. I don't want to injure myself. He's 2 years off quitting or wanting to stop dancing. So he was like, I'm not coming, and that was respected. And then he went home, had 2 extra days of holiday.
Wow. Fair play.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Fair play. Wow. An experienced dancer, no? Or like artist?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that definitely sounds like someone who's been in the industry, knows their body, knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God, I feel like we could go straight into the episode from here. But before, in case anyone hasn't met you, come across you, or come across your work, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us about yourself and maybe a bit about how you got into dance. That would be good.
My name is Ihsaan. I've been dancing now for... I'd be lying if I said it wasn't my whole life. I've been dancing my whole life.
Yeah.
Not professionally, but dance has always been in my blood, my bones. And I was thinking about this question, like, how would I introduce myself? I think that really, primarily, I'm a dancer. I'm someone who loves movement. I'm someone who's really engaged with, especially music and movement. I love that. I love to be with people inside our bodies, expressing ourselves. This is the core of me that really kind of gets me excited about what we do. But also, I'm a teacher. I think those are the 2 facets of me within the dance world that I would say, yeah, these are the things that I do. And I'm a teacher. I really love to teach anyone who wants to be engaged in their body and movement. This can be young people. I actually taught the other day choir singers, amateur choir, which was really, really amazing. I've taught really young kids. I'm happy to teach anyone. If you want to experience your own body, I'm really happy to facilitate that. And that brings me a lot of joy.
And I'm surprised that you haven't included any sort of like choreographic thing in there. Do you still see that as part of your journey as an artist? Because I know you have choreographed in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I've made work, I think, again, predominantly on young people. But I also think, I would say that I'm a dancer, I'm an artist, and we work with movement, we work with the body. But I don't necessarily aspire to be or consider myself a choreographer. I feel like in early career, it's really easy to feel like everyone who's a dancer can very easily become a choreographer. I don't think this. I don't think that the step is so easy or assumed that, because I know my body, I know how to make work and choreograph many people's bodies or come with a concept, an idea. So I don't really perceive myself as someone who wants to do that. I also don't want to do all the applications. Doesn't interest me.
When you say like the funding applications, fair play.
I don't want to do it.
It's very real.
Yeah.
It's a very real thing and very much a part of the choreographic journey. So that's fair play. Is it fair to say you're a well-rounded creative who can choreograph if needs be, but that's not what you're pursuing?
I don't know. That's why I steer away from it.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, I've choreographed for young people, which I also think is a very different thing to then
Yes.
choreograph for professional dancers. Also, people who expect you to come with ideas, concept. It's not that I can't do that, but it's not what I've done. I don't think of myself as a choreographer. If you said a maker, yeah, I can make.
Oh, what's the distinction then between a maker and a choreographer for you?
I don't know. That's the first time I've said it. But in my mind, somehow there is a difference. Everything is about craft in a way. And
Ooh.
I haven't nurtured my choreographic craft.
I like that.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And I think that this assumed knowledge that we all have, that we're crafting what we do and we become better at it, we become more intricate, nuanced about what we're interested in and how we work with the body or how we work with music or not, or whatever our interests are. And I haven't done that with choreography. I've made stuff. Therefore, I'm a maker.
Therefore, I'm a maker. I love that distinction, actually. It is something that's quite important to question as an individual, I think, because like you said, it is very common for people to believe that just because you performed, you can choreograph, and they are two different niches that require its own crafting ability. You can have choreographers who haven't danced, and you can have dancers who don't choreograph as well, and there's much more in the grey scale of that in between. So I like that. You say you're a maker.
I'm a maker.
I like those.
I'm a maker.
I'll take it.
I can make stuff. I can put stuff together.
I can put stuff together. Amazing. And so what was your kind of early journey into dancing, and where did that begin for you?
As I say, I've been dancing for sure forever. I can distinctly remember like bringing tapes to reception and playing Michael Jackson. And
Stop.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You had a tape of the Michael Jackson songs. Which songs was it?
I remember having Thriller.
Okay, first.
Also Blood on the Dance Floor, which is a lot later, but I remember having a tape of Blood on the Dance Floor and thinking it was amazing at the time. Now, not his greatest hits.
Okay.
But still, it's not a clear memory, but I know that we were allowed to bring stuff in reception, and I have memories of dancing to Michael Jackson throughout my childhood. Like, this is the little flame that starts, is always dance in relation to Michael Jackson somehow.
Wow.
And people being like, oh, okay, it's on, like, yeah, show us a dance, and someone puts Michael Jackson on. It's on, the performer comes out, and
You showed a dance.
exactly that. So this is where it starts. In primary school, I joined like a street dance class, and I did that for maybe a year or two, and then my dance teacher, Rianne Robbins, was yeah. See, I think lots of people have connections to Rianne.
Yeah, much love to Rianne.
She was my primary school dance teacher, and she also worked at the place.
Got you.
So in year 6, she recommended me do this, the Hurricane Boys project was what it was.
Yeah.
And it was a summer school, 5 days, all boys. We worked, made a piece. I can't remember if we made a piece or not. I think we did, but we shared at the end of the week. I did this 3 years in a row, and I really, really loved it.
Wow.
And on the 3rd year, the CAT program had just started up.
The CAT program where? At the place?
At the place. I'm made at the place.
You're made at the
I'm
place?
made at the place.
You need that on a t-shirt.
They used to have t-shirts that said made at the place.
Stop. Did they actually?
Yeah.
Okay, there's me thinking I had a new idea. No,
you
it's
don't.
okay.
They used to have a t-shirt that said made at the place, and I'm very much made at the place. 3 years of that, and then I joined the CAT program at the place, and I did that from then, so from the age of maybe 12, 13 to 18.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's an investment.
Yeah.
That's an investment. That's how I feel about being at Arts Ed. Because I joined year 7. I was there all the way till year 13.
Yep.
So it was the same length of time. I don't know if I can say I was exclusively made at Arts Ed, so there's lots of contributions there, whereas you've got like a through line at the place.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were very committed to me in a way. Yeah, no, I think that I wouldn't have committed so long if there wasn't also that investment, like I say, from Rianne Robbins at the very beginning to be like, oh, you might enjoy this and I have this link and I'm going to link you. And then once I joined CAT, Lucy Field was very inspirational and really kind of pushed me to stay committed. Like I was saying to my mum yesterday, actually, because when I arrived back in London, my niece was meant to go to ballet class. And then she called her mum, like, Mum, I don't want to go to ballet. Like, uncle's just arrived. Like, can I stay home?
Yeah.
And I was talking to my sister. She was like, Ihsaan, what do you think? And I was like, discipline's really important. Like, how much has she missed already? If she hasn't missed loads, then maybe it's okay. It's also nice to know that if she comes to you and she's like, I don't really want to go today, that she can get like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
But I also used to put my head on the radiator before Cat on Sundays, and I go to my mum, Mum, I'm sick. I can't go to Cat this week. She knew I was lying. She knew I was lying. But sometimes she'd be like, it's fine.
It's okay.
You don't have to go.
Yeah.
So I think there was somehow this balance as well of kind of people knowing, okay, he can do this, but also needing to push me. And this very much was happening between my mum, between Lucy Field, also being like, okay, we can move you up to top set ballet. We're scary. I didn't want to do that, but she was like, you can do it.
Why did you not want to do it?
I hated ballet when I started.
Why?
I hated ballet with a vengeance. Like, it was not for me. It wasn't dancing when I first started. It was making shapes. It was
Interesting.
making shapes. They didn't move.
Making shapes that didn't move.
It didn't move.
Because you were at the bar and it felt quite static.
It is static. Let's not lie. At the beginning, ballet is static. It's not about flow. When you don't know what you're doing.
When you know what you're doing, you can find the flow.
Exactly. But when you start, it's not.
Yeah,
there's no flow. It's not related to the music. It's point your foot, put it out, put it in, put it out, put it in. Hold your arms here.
Don't do the tonju like
it's
that.
It's true though. It's true. When you start, it's not. It doesn't feel like dancing, or it didn't feel like the dancing that I was used to.
Yeah. Okay.
It felt like making shapes, and this didn't resonate with me at all. And when I first joined, it was me and 2 other black boys in the cat class, and as more time went by, one of them dropped out. And then Stefan stayed for actually quite a long time, but there was only the 2 of us. I didn't feel represented in the room.
Sure, okay.
And this was hard, and all of the girls knew what they were doing. And so this made it really difficult to feel like, okay, I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm in this room full of people who don't look like me, and they know what they're doing. And this doesn't feel good.
Sure,
So
there's
this
a lot
was
of things.
really hard at the start.
Yeah.
And I think I needed this belief from other people to be like, you can do this. Like, so even the small gestures of like, okay, we're going to move you up.
Yeah.
Felt really big at the time.
Yeah. And I can imagine there's probably a lot of people who have gone through that same thing as an entryway into ballet as well, both from a representation standpoint, there only being 2 boys in the room, and then going to space where maybe other people have been doing ballet since 3 years old. So yeah, now that you break it down like this, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of things to be contending with in that one space. So I fully get that.
Yeah. And even I think when you're young, things that you're probably not noticing, like I wasn't noticing it on that level of intellectual debate. Now that I can consider about how it was affecting me or why I might not want to go. But at the time, it was like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good, and this doesn't feel like a space that I'm meant to be in.
Sure.
This kind of silent conflict happening internally, being like, I don't want to do this. Like, and why would I do it?
Yeah.
Why would I stay longer? But on the flip side, when it did start to feel like dancing and moving, and when I felt like I was good at it, then it started to feel better. When I moved up to top set, I always had people who were very supportive, or even inside the class, I could go to people and be like, can you show me this exercise?
Yeah,
and
that's
they
important.
And they would take time. Even, I'm going to just not name drop people, but actually for me in my career who've been really important, my first cat sharing on stage at the place, and I say sharing, but like we were doing like Grand Allegro across the space. And I remember being in the wings, and it was Pierre Tapon was our assistant.
Oh, so you've known Pierre for ages. I didn't realise that. Yeah, wow.
And I was like, Pierre, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't know the step. And he wasn't meant to come on stage with me. Pulled down his trousers, was ready in his ballet tights. I was like, I'll do it with you.
Oh, he came ready.
And so there's a video of him in front of me doing Grand Allegro across the space with me.
Wow.
I look absolutely terrible.
No, but you're young. You're not supposed to look amazing.
It's really like core memory that also like it kept me going. Like, okay, cool. Like this kind of support, this kind of belief is what allowed me to carry on and still be here now.
Like the unsung hero moment of some teaching exchanges. I don't know if Pierre remembers this specific moment. I don't know if we have to ask Pierre next time we see him. Of like the impact just that one moment has.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about this before, but when it comes to teaching, like the responsibility of it, because you just never know who you're impacting and how, what's something that feels insignificant to us.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'll just do the exercise with you, allows this person to feel so seen.
Yeah.
And now that's a core memory.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
No, I think I agree. These things are massive. Like they are massive. And I think it's why I now, like say, dancer, teacher, I love teaching now because I wouldn't be where I am without those individual people along my own journey who really supported me and allowed me to feel like, yes, I can do this too. And now, even though that's not active in my mind when I go to teach, I want to create a space where people feel like, I can do this.
Yes.
And whatever you're doing is the right thing to be doing. There's no right way to do this. This is your body. So let's explore. Let's find out how this feels for you. This is what keeps me interested, entertained, excited about the possibilities of dancing And not
That's
my
amazing.
dancing, just dancing.
Just dancing.
Mm.
Do you feel like you had any seeds of that sentiment that you've already just described when you were training at London Contemporary Dance School? Or do you feel like that's something, the teaching element and the discovery of yourself and applying yourself to a space rather than changing yourself to conform to classical ballet, for example? Do you feel like that journey started in London Contemporary Dance School, that independent thought, or not really? Did it come when you were a professional and you started teaching and you started to realize your enjoyment of teaching?
I think the second way round, I think by the time I got to London Contemporary, truthfully, I was a bit of a snob. I was a bit arrogant.
Oh,
I'd been in the building now for too long that I had a certain energy of like, yeah, okay, I know it all. Like, and obviously I didn't, but I very much felt secure. I knew the building. I thought I knew things about
Yeah.
dance. Been doing CAT for 5-6 years. Like, I felt very assured. And what I remember about being in the first couple of years at London Contemporary is there was an arrogance to me that now again I can look back and be like, I wasn't so warm to other people
I see.
who maybe had traveled to the UK, who maybe didn't speak the language. I wasn't as warm as I could be.
Got you.
I was very presumptuous about what we should all know by now, or what the space should be like. And only in years afterwards, okay, Ihsaan, I think you were a bit it's not that I was hostile, but I think I just was a bit snobby, a bit arrogant. Yeah, I don't love that. So I think it then is this full circle of knowing, yeah, how do you create space both for yourself, but a space where people feel that what their contribution is valid, and
Yeah.
that there's not a right or wrong way to do this, that we are all different and we're going to interpret and intuit and produce very different things, even if the information we're given is similar or the
Yeah.
same.
Did you have a good time in general whilst training, or is there anything quite poignant about your time in training that you remember that characterizes your time there?
I didn't not have a good time. I had
I didn't not have a good time.
no. I also can't look back and be like, I distinctly remember this or that. It was very focused in a way. I remember being really focused
Yeah.
on training and trying to be the best I could be. I remember my first year obsessing over Raphael Bonicello and
Yeah.
going home and watching the advertisement for Six Breaths and Landforms like every night, dreaming that was the outcome of 3 years at London Contemporary Dance School.
Understood.
No,
What? What happened?
delusion.
Why is that delusion?
It's delusional. Like,
Why was it delusional then, though?
that's not what we were training for. We weren't training to be that kind of dancer, I don't think.
What do you think your cohort of dancers were training for?
I also don't know.
Okay.
I also don't know.
Yeah.
I think training's really hard. I think training's hard then. I think training's hard now.
Yeah.
I think it's more difficult now for UK-based dancers. I think training was hard then. In the same way now, we didn't know what we were training for. It was very much a portfolio career. You very much needed to be good at all things, or lots of different things. And no one was really specializing in anything in particular. I really remember, like, in my year, or also in the years that followed, the Hofesh was massive.
Yeah.
And I felt that everything became a kind of style study of Hofesh, but we didn't have anyone teaching Gaga. We didn't have people from Hofesh teaching us very often. Like, and it's not that I wanted that, or that's what I thought we should have got, but I think that also the spectrum was so large. Then we had Ulston in the building, and
Yeah.
you kind of needed to be good at both. But also I remember people really being like, I'm this kind of dancer, I'm that kind of dancer.
Yes.
And closing off whole attributes of what they thought they could do or would do.
Yes.
That wasn't useful. You couldn't do that. So I think it was also really difficult to kind of train for everything, not knowing what you were training for. At the same time, it feels like companies are closing or something is shifting. It's not clear.
Now in 2026.
No, even then, like,
Really?
I don't feel like it was like, who were the companies? Like I say, it was delusional for me to think that I could be in Sydney Dance Company. That was going to happen.
I'm a bit team delusion. I can't lie.
No, I'm here for delusion. Be
Yeah,
delusional,
I'm a
like
bit team
dream big. But
yeah, I'm like team delusion. Why not? If you understand like the work that needs to be put in to get to that space and to, go to that space and be willing to learn, etc., etc. That's what I mean. It's not delusion without focus and hard work and intention. It's not just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to Alvin Ailey American Dance Theatre and I've never done a Horton class in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it can be, okay, I'm going to start training and looking at the attributes and all of this, and then just being like, why not? Go for it.
yeah,
You might learn something about yourself in the process. But there were loads of companies at the time that you were graduating? Yeah, there were. In comparison to now,
It's true, but I would like, name some.
easy. There was Alexander Whitley. There was Mark Bruce Company.
Wait,
There's
wait.
Matthew Bourne's New Adventures.
Fine.
There's James Wilton. Yes. Phoenix Dance Theatre. There was a bunch. Oh my gosh, there's loads.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I
Protein
think I'm
Dance.
only putting faces because also like no one was a company where you could work a lot of time. Even in those companies,
Richard Alston Dance Company.
yeah, fine. But even in those companies you named, most of those you're going to be working freelance. You're going to do that and be doing something else simultaneously. You're going to work with Alexander Whitley, for example, and someone else at some other point in the year. You're not going to be with him the whole year.
Company Wayne McGregor.
True. There was more then.
There was
it's
more.
true that there's more then.
Question though, because we haven't even got into like what you were doing performance wise, and you've had a broad performance career, but we met at Richard Alston Dance and we were employed for 10 out of 12 months.
Yes.
For Richard. Were you freelancing alongside this as well? I know I was, but that's just because I didn't notice it still.
Teaching. I work 6-day weeks. I was teaching every Saturday.
True, on the CAT program.
On CAT, on Shuffle.
Oh yeah, Shuffle.
I taught on Shuffle, yes. I always worked on Saturdays.
Yep.
As well as our 5-day working week.
Okay.
So if you include that as freelancing, I was always doing that alongside it.
Did you need to work on Saturdays, or you chose to?
You say we were employed 10 out of 12 months.
Roughly.
But what me also, was it like 41 weeks, 42 weeks?
I have no idea how many weeks
it was. Weeks, but it was actually weeks. On our contract, it was weeks.
Okay.
So actually in the summer, when we broke up, and usually in May, June time.
Was it that early?
Yes. Then
Why don't I remember this?
We were not paid until we came back in August.
So June, July.
June, July, we weren't paid. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 2 months where you either needed to factor that into your entire year, knowing that, okay, there's going to be 2 months of the year where I'm not getting paid anything and to make sure I have enough money to pay my rent, or you would continue to have something going in those 2 months. So for me, that was teaching.
Yeah.
It's not that I needed to do that, but it was more secure to do that.
Understood.
And then if I were to add to that, it was a really good contract and I was really happy with it.
Yeah.
But also, we were paid at Christmas.
Yes, we were.
But then we weren't paid in Easter.
For the Easter break?
Yeah. So other holidays, if we weren't in the studio, we were not paid.
How long did we have off for Easter? 2 weeks?
I don't remember.
Like a week or something?
I remember that we were paid only over the 2-week Christmas break and no other holiday.
I used to love that paid Christmas break.
Exactly. It feels great.
Oh my goodness. And you know, once I left Alston and I joined New Adventures and then we had to do Christmas seasons at Sadler's Wells, I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean you work over Christmas?
Yeah, this I don't envy. I never envied that.
And then I realised, this is what the majority of freelancers do. Had you left Alston when the contract reduced down to 8 months out of 12?
Maybe I'd already left by then.
Yeah. That's when I felt the need to freelance alongside a contract of that nature. But before then, anything I was doing outside was just because I didn't want to sit down. You know what I mean? It was just like, I will choreograph for a music video or do a music video or do a photo shoot or do something like this just because that's where my interest took me. Yeah. It was definitely one of the more favourable contracts at the time when we were professional, in like early career professionals. Is that fair to say?
No, I also think it was the best apprenticeship to take at the time.
Because you got paid.
You got paid for your performances, and it was the only apprenticeship where you got paid for your performances.
That's true.
It was very clear to me that when I was doing the auditions for Apprentice, this is the one. If I want anyone, it's that one.
Yeah. And it's in the heart of London, Euston, King's Cross. It was a good space.
The heart of London.
No, it
Euston,
is.
King's Cross.
No, because you can get anywhere from there, is
it's
what
true.
I mean.
Yeah,
like
fine.
if you're going to Sadler's Wells, if you're going to South Bank, if you're going to these like dance houses
fine.
to go and watch shows and do all of this type of stuff, like you can go after work and it wasn't anything that was crazy.
True.
Do you have a favourite memory or moment from your career so far? I know we've just spoken about Alston, but you've also danced with Kanduku, you've also danced with Claude. You also haven't said where you currently are now, which is not in London.
It's not in London.
Where are you?
Now I'm based in Norway, in Bergen. I am dancing with Carte Blanche, which is the Norwegian national company for contemporary dance. We recently changed our name to that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's where I am now. Do I have a favourite memory? It's a really hard question. Actually, the things I've enjoyed in my performance career is when things have gone wrong. And there's this real intensity to the commitment and the being together becomes so heightened that there are things that are more etched in my brain. Like I remember, I think you would have been in the company at the time. Like,
I think I know what you're going to say, but tell me.
When we performed in G Live in Guildford.
Yes, it's
and
the
I don't
exact
remember
one.
what piece we were doing, but obviously it was Molston or a Martin Lawrence piece.
No, it was a Martin piece.
And
Because it was 2 tracks.
Which piece? Yeah, this I remember.
It was 2
Yeah,
tracks. And it was me and you on stage.
What piece was it?
I cannot for the life of me remember it. I just remember we had a duet or something and we were dancing, show's going well, etc., etc. We're midway through the duet, music cuts out. And I look at you, you look at me, we keep dancing and we're like locked in.
Yeah.
Eye contact. You know, it's one of those things where no words were said, but a full conversation was happening.
Exactly. But this is what I love. Like, there's something that becomes really live in the moment. Okay, now we have to lock in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, and I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
How long do we go for? And even in this unspoken, you say like it was 2 tracks, and I think we also all remember this because even though nothing was spoken, there was this commitment to we will finish this track, and if the music doesn't come back on, then we stop.
Yes.
And we all came on stage to yeah, of course, that's what we would do.
What went through my head as well is when the music cut out for us and like people continued to the end of that section, and in my head I was like, if Liam had a solo, if Liam walks on to do this solo, we're going to the end of this track.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone had to a varying degree like some sort of thought, maybe not necessarily from that moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, we were stage right and we ended up in a line down like this, and we'd get to this position and then the music would start, and I remember getting to this position, I was like, if the music doesn't start, I'm going off
We're walking
stage
right back.
literally. I was like, because what is this whole piece in silence? And then I remember the music came and it felt like everyone just exhaled.
Relief. Yeah. Relief.
I was in hysterics at the end of that because I was like, ain't no way. And we were in sync, we were in time, we were in...
Yeah. But this is also what was super exciting about it, like
Yeah.
this ability to kind of know that the music is now so engraved in us, choreographed so closely
Yes.
to the music and the movement that, okay, now you could take away the music and you guys can still do it. And you can look over there and I know where you are, I know what you're doing, and I know what's
Exactly.
next. Like this kind of, ineffable, something's happening now. This is super exciting.
And I do feel like the group of us that were dancing in that piece or at that time, we were all really locked in and committed to the quality of performance we gave in our own ways. So I feel like we all took individual responsibility so that the collective stayed at a standard.
Yeah.
This is part of the reason why I think it was so easy for all of us having not said a word and now all of a sudden being like, there's no music. You can just hear every landing from a jump, every breath. And we just stayed in sync to this. And I think that it's a testament to like how we worked and all of our individual mindsets, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny that you brought that up. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was
But it
like,
was
do
good,
you
no?
remember?
It's good though, no?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's a moment where you can be like, we did that.
exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some quick fire. There's not too many.
Okay.
Try not to think about it too much. Just the first one that comes to your mind.
This I can do.
Yeah? Okay, starting off strong. London or Bergen?
Next question. No, I'm joking. The answer is when I'm in London, Bergen. When I'm in Bergen, London.
No, that's wild. You can't
That's
find...
the truth, though.
You can't find a loophole.
That's the truth.
Ihsaan.
That's the truth.
The place that you're not in, you kind of miss it.
Yeah.
So now that you're in London, it's Bergen.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
way too many people here. There's way too many advertisements. It's horrible. It smells yuck. There's no mountains.
Okay. We have this every time you come back.
No, but it's true.
You need a couple days adjustment and then you'll get over it.
No. Like I said, with this travel, we stayed in a hotel inside the airport and
Which airport?
inside Gatwick.
Oh, that's why. If you were in Heathrow,
Horrible. No,
I'm
I
just
came-
saying.
I came back through Heathrow. I was thinking of you, man. Man, I don't like this airport either.
It's better than Gatwick,
It's
though.
not.
Anyway, it's just because you're from South. Anyway, freelancing or company life?
Company life.
Oh, fair play. You are settled at carte blanche. I'll give you that. A high-paying job, but you hate the content of what you're doing, or your dream job at equity minimum.
Don't hate me. Give me the money. High paying job.
No, it's very real. It's very real. Abstract or narrative work? You do a mixture of stuff now.
Yeah, I'm going to go abstract.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any reason why?
I think if it's abstract and related to the body, then I can have more freedom to explore. If it's too narrative, it's not a problem for me, but maybe less interesting.
Oh, fairs. As an artist, like the journey and the work.
As a doer,
As a dancer now, to be super flexible or have endless stamina.
stamina.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Even now, I want to do high rocks. Like,
Sorry, what?
that's what I want to do. I want to do high rocks. Like,
Why?
because actually, I also think the things that interest me about dance, again, it's also the body. It's about the limits. It's about how far, how long can I go? Like, flexibility is nice, but actually, it's not necessarily the part that it doesn't hold my attention. I don't think I dance because I love dancing. I do love dancing, but I love the act of moving my body and
Yeah.
finding its physical capacities.
Fine.
So I'd much rather push my stamina than be more flexible.
This one is really specific, and I don't actually know if dancers like abroad do this as well, but there's a massive thing here. Well, actually, no, Oyana used to do this a lot. Shorts over trousers in contemporary dance. Yes or no for you?
It's yes.
It's a yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I do it all the
It's
time.
yes, but don't ask me why I'm doing it.
Yeah, facts.
There's no reason. I just liked it. There's no reason for it. It's not functional.
No, it's not functional at all. I had a non-dancer ask me that, and I was like, I couldn't tell you why, but it's just vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask any follow-up questions. Just accept it.
Not the follow-up question.
It's true, though.
Fair play. I'm on the same side as you on that one. I have an overarching question for this season. And so for this season, my question to you is, what percentage of dancers in the UK do you think have a full-time dance job? And we're talking about contemporary dancers specifically.
What percentage?
Yeah. Have a full-time salaried dance job.
Yeah, super low. Super low.
Yeah? What do you think it
I'm
is?
going between 1 and 10.
Between 1 and 10?
Yeah.
Shame.
Have a full-time salary pay job.
Yeah, it says full-time dance job.
As a dancer, or like I can be a producer in a company all year round. I work in dance, or I'm a dancer.
Let's go with I am a dancer.
Yeah, then 1 to 10%. I stick there.
Okay.
I'm going to go 10.
If you are now a producer, for example, does that percentage change?
It goes up.
It goes up.
I for sure think people in admin could work all year round.
This isn't our final episode of the season, so I can't reveal that on camera, but I can tell you it afterwards.
Yeah, I look forward to knowing
Yeah.
how correct I am.
Do you know why I chose this question? Is because nowadays a lot of people graduating are graduating into a predominantly freelance world, whereas I think sometimes the rhetoric and what we are mentally prepared for is company life coming out of school, and the amount of jobs in companies is not quite the same as the amount of those graduating. I think it's important for us to be aware of what percentage of the industry are in full-time salaried positions, what percentage of people are freelancing, and then those who are freelancing, how are they making it work?
Yeah.
So this is why I chose this question, because I don't know if it's as readily spoken about.
Yeah. No,
you know?
I think it's good. As I said earlier, like I also think this delusion that I spoke about.
Yeah.
I think it's also this. Yeah, I'm gonna get a job that's gonna pay me all year round. Like I'm gonna be in Sydney, or I'm gonna be in NDT2. Not everyone's going to be in those companies
True.
that work like that and work consistently. And even if you are in those companies, you're not going to be dancing all the time. Anyway, I think this delusion, or not delusion, or not understanding how it works because I haven't done it yet, is part of the journey.
Do you think that percentage is the same or different in Norway, for example?
Percentage of people in a full-time job in dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the system's really different in Norway. So I think the percentage is probably similar in a way, but different. Say for carte blanche, we are employed all year round. We're salaried employees. We're not like here you can be a worker or self-employed. Like no, we are salaried employees.
Yeah.
We're paid all year round, every month, the same amount. So
Must be nice.
there doesn't go. Yeah, exactly. It's really nice. The union is a lot stronger. The rights are clearer, what we can and can't do.
Okay.
Or everything is a lot more structured and held together in a way. And as I say, like there are 10 people who are on a lifetime contract. So they are secure in job, in life until the lifetime contract ends somewhere between 42 and 48. This is where the lifetime ends.
Yeah.
But it doesn't just end after that. If you choose to stay, your contract will be renewed yearly. And you decide when you're finished.
Oh, I see. So you can still make the choice about when you want to finish.
Yeah. And then there are 2 3-year contracts, and then we have 2 apprentices. So you're much more secure. Like even in comparison to our like Ulster contract of being more or less a year that was renewed every year, the shortest contract you can get in carte blanche is 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think anyone is handing out 3-year contracts in 2026. And if they are, I'm just not aware of them. The most I think is like yearly. Even the musical theatre contracts are like a year and a half max. And then there's a conversation about renewing them.
Yeah.
I mean, we've segued naturally into talking about the differences of like working in Norway or outside of the UK and here. Do you think the UK would ever be in a position where they can start, like the dance industry specifically, and we're looking at performers specifically as well, where companies can offer 3-year contracts?
I think it depends on the government. Carte blanche, for example, we're funded by the government.
Yeah.
So we also have a certain mandate that we have to do. I think also since COVID, I don't feel that dance really recovered in a way, or it never, and it was already suffering before, but we never fully recovered or got the backing from a government that's like, actually arts is really important and we need to fund it. Companies were disappearing, funding was getting slashed. So no is the short answer. We're not in a position where companies could be offering 3-year contracts or salary contracts like for longer periods of time. But this is also to do with funding that is also a lot outside of the institution's control. I'm sure if the institution had their way, they would like to have consistency, I would imagine.
The only company that I've had proximity to which offer something similar but it's not the same as like a 3-year fixed salary is New Adventures. You may get offered the next show that's coming up and then the show after that. Maybe that covers a 1.5, 2-year period. But like outside of that, I've actually never been offered a 3-year contract. It's always been a 1.5 maximum. Yeah. And everyone says, oh, that's long.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah. I also had never encountered it before Norway. And it is a massive luxury.
Yeah.
It's a massive luxury. From being there for so long, not that now I'm like, it should be standard, but what I see in my colleagues is, an ability to live your life, to build your life. It's not that we can't do that as freelancers, but the luxury it affords you is different. Like people have kids and it's fine. They can raise their families. They can stay and they're stable.
Yeah.
Whereas here we don't have so much of that security to be able to build
structural support, I
guess.
Mm.
And this is why I'm like, but it should be standard, because just because we're dancers, it doesn't mean that we don't want to build our lives.
That's true. And I guess a lot of us started because we like dance and we pour a lot of our time and effort into it. And if you're traveling around, it takes up most of our time anyway. So I guess there is this assumption that because we're like so invested in it, that we're content with what we've invested in. I don't know if this happens for everyone, but I think for a lot of people, you get to a certain age or a certain point in your career where you start to think, okay, what am I building outside of dance? And that doesn't necessarily have to be work related, but like as a person.
Yep.
Do you think that the offer from Carte Blanche came at a time where you were questioning something like that?
What am I building?
Yeah, or like what sort of life do I wish to create?
I think for the last 2 jobs before I was with Canduco, I think in Canduco at the time, I was like, this is my last job. And then I'm finished. Like, I know, and then I'll stop dancing.
I remember you said that.
I've been saying that for a lot of time.
Yeah, you have.
A long time now. And then, that job kind of dissolved where I was ready to part ways with it. And I remember with Canduco performing in Oslo, and one of the dancers also being like, oh yeah, you could audition for Carte Blanche. And the former rehearsal director of Canduco was now the rehearsal director of Carte Blanche. And so there was this little bridge beginning to appear. And I remember performing in Oslo and being like, I think I could live here. But I think I was drawn to the security. I became aware, okay, the contracts that they offer are longer and you're salaried. And I was looking for security. I think that the desire to get out of dance at the time was not because I didn't have security, but I wanted to build, I want a house, really and truly. Like, I want a house. I wanted to feel like actually there was some stability in my life in order to start to look at other aspects of what I want out of my life. Yeah. The possibility to have 3 years in Carte Blanche at the time offered a real opportunity to save money. Yeah. Which is what I wanted. And so this appealed to me, and it was good, with my current desires.
Yeah. It kind of just aligned itself. How did you feel about moving abroad? Because you're a London person.
Yeah. No, these are facts.
Well, you were.
These are facts. This is where I'm from, and I relate very strongly to being from London. But I also really remember when this crossover was beginning to happen and I was considering moving to Norway, that I was also very overwhelmed by London. I remember really distinctly like being on the escalator coming up the heart of London in Euston.
The heart of London.
You said it. And feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you have the moving advertisements on both sides. You can suddenly hear the announcements for the trains. You've got people moving in all directions and moving at speed. And just feeling like this isn't doing it for me anymore. Like something was really shifting in my perspective. I also think being in Canduco at the time and working with differently abled people and seeing life move at a different pace and people who had to move at a different pace also then really kind of made me go, we are moving at speed all the time and it's not necessary. It's also not good for me. Yeah. And so I also felt ready to not be in this real frenetic bubble all the time. And so when I say also like when I'm in Bergen, I can miss London. I miss the energy and the culture, but I really enjoy that in Bergen there's less people. It's calmer. You're constantly surrounded by mountains, by water. Life is somehow softer in a way. Yeah. And it can be also frustrating. Like, I can do my food shop in Bergen in like 20 minutes because there's less choice. The supermarket is a lot smaller.
Right.
You can't browse. Like, there's not a whole biscuit aisle or crisp. No,
It's
you've
no
got.
business.
It's true. You've got a selection maybe of like 5, 10, if I'm being generous, brands of biscuit. That's it. So you're gonna move a lot quicker because you're
Wow.
not burdened by choice. What one do I want? What brand do I get? No, there's one brand of milk. You're gonna buy that brand. That's it.
Because you need milk, yeah.
Exactly.
First.
But it also alleviates space somehow in your body and your mind that you're not so
Mm.
busy with being overwhelmed with choice.
Yeah. So what sort of things did you need to think about or like consider before moving from London to somewhere like Bergen, for example?
A visa, because I needed that. Like, so I needed to secure housing in Bergen before I had even lived there. I actually paid for like 3 months rent because I needed to have a fixed address.
Oh, I see. For the visa?
Yes.
Wow, that's quite a complicated way of doing things.
Yeah.
Because you might have that, and then what if your visa doesn't get approved?
Then I would have been screwed.
Wow.
But
Okay.
they needed to know. And actually, I don't think it's the same for everyone. I remember asking at the time, where can I put in the company? But you can put the address of the company. This is fine. So I think you can also do this. I didn't
Understood.
need somewhere, but I also wanted to do it in the most legit way possible so that there wasn't any reason that I wouldn't get it.
Yes.
I think this is the main thing. It was just mainly the visa that I had to prepare for. I think like moving initially, like I took 2 suitcases and left a lot of stuff still in London. I think I had an apartment in London and my initial contract was 3 years. So I didn't know whether or not I tried to keep my apartment
Yeah.
or relinquish it. I didn't know at the time, so I kept it and let a friend stay there. It was mainly these kind of decisions that needed to be made, whether I was going to like not cut all ties with London, but like, okay, box up all my stuff, my life
Yeah.
in London, but okay, I'm gone. Or whether I tried to let both of them run parallel to each other,
Yeah.
not knowing what was going to happen after 3 years or even 1 year. I might have gone to Norway and been like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
So it's mostly this kind of thing and mostly learning on the way. Once being there, like being like, okay, I need rain trousers because it rains all the time. Or is this kind of adjustment that had to be made at the time?
Yeah.
When I moved to a place that was 10 minutes away from work on the bus. And to me, that was short. That was easy. That was like, yeah, that's fine. 10 minutes on the bus is really calm. When I eventually lived there for 6 months, I was like, oh, this is far. In Bergen, this is far.
Right.
When I first moved, everyone was like, Ihsaan, you live so far away. I was like, it's 10 minutes on the bus.
Yeah.
It's not far. But after a year, you realize, okay, here, this is far.
Yes.
And it was.
It was.
Yeah.
You've moved closer into
Yeah,
for
yeah.
work now.
Now I live like 5 minutes away from work, which is too close.
It's you've got to
But-
find the balance somewhere.
Yeah. But I live in the center now. So where I lived before is like, there wasn't so much stuff in a way. Like in London, you can live wherever you live and there's coffee, there's stuff to go
Yeah.
to in your local area. Whereas where I lived, it was really beautiful. It was by the sea. But the nearest coffee shop was maybe, I don't know, as a walk, 15 minutes walk, or maybe further. I might be being generous with 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was far. Or at least a bus ride. Like
It was Bergen far.
it was Bergen far. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not London far.
Exactly. Because I said 15 minutes. I was like, it's not. When I lived in Streatham, 20 minutes for a coffee was every day.
Yeah.
But it was Bergen far.
Yeah. These are the like subtle cultural things to adjust to when like working abroad or moving abroad in whatever capacity that is. And I guess when you're on holiday, you're usually there for a shorter period of time. So a 15-minute walk is like nice because it's a brand new place. But
Exactly.
like when this is life,
Yeah.
this is like the routine of every day.
Yeah.
And everyone is just walking 5 minutes and they're home and you're taking a 10-minute bus and you're
Yeah.
like, it
Yeah,
does
yeah.
add up. What would you say has surprised you the most about living and working as a dancer in Norway?
I think that what surprises me the most, still now, is that we are a very diverse company in terms of our dancing aesthetics, our dancing values, which works, but we're not a company who have a clear, aesthetic. If you ask all of us to do the same thing, and actually I think many choreographers try to get us to do the same thing, this is a struggle in a way because we really bring different ideas, aesthetics, value systems, ways of interpreting to the table. I think it also works as a really large strength of the company, but I remember say that even in Alston, even though we all would produce movement quite differently,
Yeah.
it felt like there was a divergence to try and be located in a very particular aesthetic that unified us. This we don't have. We don't have something that unifies us clearly. And
Interesting.
this is not a point of friction, but it's something that has to be held and navigated collectively all of the time.
Got you. From what I understand about the company, like those who are coming to create aren't necessarily just dance choreographers. They come from multiple disciplines and practices,
Yeah.
which I'm not saying that doesn't happen here, but I feel like there's like a real distinction between like dance choreographer in the way that that is practiced in the UK, for example, in contrast to like carte blanche. So could you speak a bit more about like the creatives that create, and has that shifted what you consider dance to be?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we work with various artists. Like my first year, we worked with Tori Ulones. I'm gonna say her name really badly, so I apologize. Sorry, Tori. She's not a dance choreographer. Let's put it that way. She actually had a installation in Bergen, and she works more with installation. She also uses very much sound, vocals. It's more to create a whole scene and environment, to create a sensation, but from it's not from movement. Her practice isn't based in movement. So even for our work, she created or built like hands and prosthetic feet for us, and that's her craft. Her craft is this kind of making,
Okay.
not making
Like,
movement.
yes.
So this is just like in my first year, this was adjustment, and I remember when we created this piece, for about half of the creation time, we didn't have the set, we didn't have the prosthetic hands, we also wear masks in this piece. We didn't have the stuff that she would really work with in order to create the ambient that she was trying to work with. So she gave us a lot of improvisational tasks. And as someone who was new to the company, I was doing a lot of dancing,
Yeah.
actual dancing, moving my body, put it that way. It was received very like, but why are you dancing so much? Like, and I remember talking to the rehearsal director, and she also was like to me, but I think it's on what they understand is what the piece is going to become. And the piece isn't going to become this dancey piece that you're doing over here. It's going to become something far more abstract. And so this was kind of a learning curve of understanding that, okay, I'm very located in movement, but also these people already understand somewhat of what this might become.
Sure.
And it's not going to be a dancey dance piece.
A dancey dance piece.
There was learning to be done in this way. I don't think it's changed what I think of as dance. I think dance is anything that involves moving your body.
It's quite broad, no?
But I think you can be very pedestrian. I think that this is the beauty of being a dancer, and why so many dancers can be movement directors or like give advice on. I make a distinction between movement direction, choreography, like movement assistant. Why I think a dancer could advise someone like on a runway walk. If I said to you, okay, I want the runway to be kind of grungy, a bit dirty, a bit kind of angry. Why I think a dancer could, through their own knowledge of moving their body, give someone else information on how they might bring that to life.
I agree, and also partially disagree, because I don't think all dancers can be movement directors.
No, not all.
In the same way that we draw a straight line between like dancer to choreographer, I think now that contemporary dancers' involvement in film and music videos and stuff has just like exploded, there's now like a line from dancer to movement director. And I think just to kind of like put some more credit on what the movement director is actually doing in this space, I often think if a movement director is doing a really good job, you actually don't know what it is that they're doing, because they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, small information here, Not all the time, but I found, for example, in the times that I've been on set as a movement director, sometimes people are like, what have you been doing? They don't know that I've been looking at the camera angles, adjusting the formation, speaking to the dancers, the actors, checking with the director, changing the movement, looking at this intention, being like, okay, this is a handheld thing. We need this energy from you, blah, 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 blah. Taking the time to learn the craft to do that. Because I've had many students be like, oh, I want to be a movement director. And I'm like, why? And they're just like, oh, yeah, I just think it'd be quite cool. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great, because that means that you're interested in it and all of that stuff. What understanding do you have of your own body, and then translating that information to other people?
No, I entirely
do you know what
agree.
I mean?
Any one of these is about knowing what the craft is. What's the craft of the thing? What are the details of this specific thing that are transferable for the skills that I've acquired? But what's specific about this in this lens, in this focal point, if I focus on this? Which is why I also say, like, everything you've just described doesn't necessarily mean that someone can like do formations in space or create meaning through a group of people, like, which is what I view as choreography. Whatever lane you choose takes a lot of craft, and it would be presumptuous of any of us as movers in our own bodies to be like, I can do all of them.
Valid. I'm sure there's someone who can,
I'm sure.
I'm
sure.
I'd love to meet them
Also,
sometime.
I mean, you just say it with your chest. Like, go and
Yeah, it's true.
say it with your chest. Fine, I believe you.
Yeah, it's true. Say
Fine.
it with your chest. But you believe it first and then
Exactly.
others kind of follow suit. That's not to discourage people from being movement directors, but it's also to just give credit to the craft of those who are doing it really well. I just want to put that out there. It's a little disclaimer. Depending on how you're looking at work and what people consider dance, etc., and like what people consider training and good training, and you mentioned earlier on, like it's very hard to train people for everything. So if you were speaking to a dancer, performer, artist who is training in the UK, but they are wanting to work in Europe or Norway specifically, because that's your frame of reference, what advice would you give them? I know, or like what... or like what sort of things do you think is good for them to keep in mind or explore? Because I feel the movement style we get trained in here in the UK, for the most part, is still rooted in modern dance. Whereas I feel like European training styles tends to move a little bit away from that type of style. So how do we bridge the gap as UK artists?
It's big and it weighs heavy. It's really important that people come to the table with their own interest, which pushes their craft, that they have a distinct interest in something specific that allows them to really be interested in movement, in having questions, in interrogating what dance, the art can give other people. They need to be able to interrogate the form that they are exploring. I think that we have to push ourselves. When I say we, I'm maybe referring to dancers in the UK or students. Like, we have to push ourselves out of the boundaries that maybe we create for ourselves or that we might feel other people give to us. This is really important, I think. And just to keep eyes on what's happening. Like, if we get too fixed in our bubble of what's happening here in the UK, it will be really impossible to transition into what's happening outside, because you'll be unaware. You won't know how to transfer some of the skills that you have acquired in training to something that you haven't done yet. So make sure you're getting the information rather than going in blind.
What sort of bubble do you think we can sometimes live in the UK from like a dance perspective that might be a bit of a hindrance to like how work is created, the type of work that's created?
I think now, like, we're really suffering from needing bums on seats, essentially. We're really suffering from it has to be good, has to be aesthetically pleasing. We need people to come, which is what feels to me to be the bottom line of the why you might make something.
Right.
And then that hinders your possibilities of playing, of doing something because you're interested or curious, or there's something you really need to make something about. I need to get this out of my body. I need to say something about this through dance because that's the craft that I've chosen. This I feel we're not doing here. I feel like we're far more busy with financially making sure that we're making work that people will be interested in, that they want to see, or that they already have some sort of reference about.
Sure.
I already know about this franchise, this thing, and therefore I will go to that, or it's going to be an experience. I can drink and eat at the same time as I watch this performance.
Yeah.
I feel like, we're more lent into an experience for the audience, which I think is also fine, but it is a very particular lane.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily so easily link to an artistic lane that is about concept or about things that might be abstract or things that people won't get, they don't understand. It's about feeling, it's abstract.
I feel like the more I have these conversations, both on the podcast and like just in life in general, the UK stuff leads all the way back to funding. It doesn't matter like whichever avenue you start this conversation, at some point it goes back to funding and lack of and or the heightened competition to get funding. So this is why maybe there is a priority for like bums on seats in the theatre so that it's profitable, or you have an investor and this investor needs to make their money back so they can give you more money to make something else. It's not that I didn't make that connection before, but like some people might say the stuff that's being created in carte blanche is quite avant-garde, it's quite out there, it's quite this, that and the other from a UK perspective. But then actually if you think, well, this just gives people space to play without so much of a heavy focus on the financial burden. And I wonder what sort of work would come out of the UK if we relieved that financial burden
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
Because it's a very loud burden at the
Yeah.
moment in the industry.
I agree that everything does come back to funding somehow. And this is where I really feel the two lanes really diverge. The carte blanche do have the luxury in some ways to, make work that we're not so burdened with whether or not this is going to get audience in. We obviously need audience as well. But they are able to facilitate a space where people can come in and they have an idea and they can try it and do it. It sometimes creates work that's amazing or will cut people in two and be like, hey, love that. Or some people walk out halfway through. But it has a very clear stamp of the person who made it.
Yeah. The controversy. Walking out. Have you ever walked out of a show?
No, but I've wanted to.
Really?
I've wanted. No, maybe I did. No, I've walked out of one show.
One show?
I've walked out of one show.
What made you walk out? You don't have to name the show.
Didn't like it.
But you didn't feel like you could sit and enjoy it?
No, I didn't want to. I also feel like it takes a lot. It feels like a bold statement at any point to just be like, I'm not coming back to this. Like, I'm walking out. Especially, I think I walked out. I think there was an interval. So I did it in a polite way. I waited to the interval and then I just didn't come back.
This is
I
okay.
didn't get up in the middle of the show and leave, which already feels like a massive statement.
Yeah.
But I also think people should be allowed to do that. If you don't like it, I mean, I don't think not liking something is a good enough reason to leave. But if you're like, I don't want to enjoy this anymore, I think it's absolutely valid. I think it takes a lot of courage to be like, I'm leaving. Because social etiquette demands that you stay.
I think I'm very conditioned in the social etiquette stuff in this sense. But I'm just like, just take a nap. No? Wake up in the interval, leave.
Yeah,
long as you're not front row, don't take a nap if you're in the front row. Yeah, if you're near the back and people can't see you and you're not enjoying this, take a nap. No?
Why though? If you're not enjoying it, why are you staying?
You've paid for the ticket. There's like 10 minutes until the interval. Take a little snooze.
I mean, I think both.
Gather your stuff.
I think both, but it's valid.
Is that rogue?
No, I don't think it's rogue. I think it's as valid as getting up and leaving. I think it's the same. But I think that if you're genuinely like, I'm not enjoying this and I don't want to do it. Like, why in any other situation you would leave?
True.
If you were talking to someone and they were saying a whole bunch of stuff, you're like, I don't want to hear this. You know what? I'm good. Thanks. Like, I'm gonna go. You wouldn't be like, I'm gonna endure this. Like, well, why should you?
Some people do.
And we do it all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm almost like, but why? You shouldn't have to do that if you don't want to do it.
I think that's a very valid
you can walk
suggestion.
away.
But people are napping in the theatre all the time.
Oh, for sure.
All the time. Just
sure.
putting that one out there. But I will say, if you're front row, please don't nap because we can see you as the performers.
I mean, it's hard for us as performers. In one of our last shows, we had someone audibly yawn multiple times. Like,
Stop.
it was in silence and multiple times. And we were like, it's really unnecessary. We get it. You're bored. Why do we have to hear you audibly yawn?
No way.
Shameless. They didn't care.
Oh,
It's like the piece was in silence. It was so unnecessary.
Not the piece was in silence as well. Yeah, no, that's wild. That is wild. Do you think that would happen in a British audience?
Audibly yawning?
Yeah.
No, I think we're too polite for that.
That's interesting because audiences around the world, they respond so differently to different things, and there's different like etiquette and like cultural norms in theatre, which I find really fascinating as a performer. In Japan, they're silent that entire show, and then it's like you get to the bow and you just see phone lights. So the clap is quite minimal, but like they're all just trying to capture the bow and all of you. And then they queue outside for ages to see you. And some people give you gifts and all different types of stuff. Like they really appreciated it. But like, you know, we value an applause. And then you go to LA and they're loud, they're vocal throughout the show. Like they let you know. We had a little plot twist in Romeo and Juliet and someone was like, oh, no way. You have to like keep character and you're like, well, at least we know they're with us.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But then you don't really see many of them at stage door, for example.
Yeah.
What do you think is your biggest takeaway from working in the UK and then also working in Norway? So like having done both, what do you think is your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway here is I think that we are more, or the companies here are more...
Where's here?
In the UK, sorry. In getting people to invest in the work. So there's more outreach that's done through companies that or in the companies that I've been in at least, alongside touring, you will often go into schools and teach and meet young people or meet people to try and bring them into the fold. And this feels like integral part of applications as well. Who is it going to reach? How is it going to affect the community? This feels part of the fabric of how dance is made up here. Whereas now in Carte Blanche, it's not that we don't have outreach, we have a lot less outreach, but it's not part of our work in a way. Especially as dancers inside the company, it's not expected of us to lead workshops. We do, but there's a lot less of them. And it's a lot easier to be like, no, I don't want to do that. The art is foreground in carte blanche. Not that it's not, the
just
art
different
is
priorities and things. And so my final question to you is, now that you've worked abroad for a number of years and will probably continue that journey for a while, do you ever foresee yourself working back in the UK in the same capacity as you are now?
No, I think that ship has sailed for me.
Really?
But also because I've been not here now for 3 years. I won't be here for another 3 years.
Yeah.
I think that when you're here, you need to nurture your connections. You need to, you're seen in the field, and then there's a little bit of a rotation that happens. People are aware of you. I think because I haven't been here, people aren't aware of me.
Okay.
I think it'll be really difficult to infiltrate back in.
Okay.
And I think the way in which dance is going here, for me, in my opinion, slightly more commercially, doesn't lend itself to my skills as a dancer.
Yeah.
I think lots of the people that I view now that are successful in the field have very much portfolio careers, but they also are they'll be in a film, they'll be on stage, and I think this is what success looks like here.
Yeah.
I think that, especially now that I've not been doing that kind of work, and even when I was here, I wasn't the first person to be cast for music videos. I don't think this is where I thrive.
Yeah.
I do thrive much more in a company setting and working with someone really specifically on something. So I think I would really struggle to come back and work here.
Yeah, I think it's a very valid reflection. And as the industry has moved from more like company dominant work to this freelance thing, as you said, I think post-lockdown, we understood that there was more of an abundance of work in film, music videos, movement directing, fashion shows, all of this type of stuff. So naturally, I feel like dancers went where the work is.
Yeah. Also paid better.
It does pay much better, true, the commercial industry in general. Often, not always. So I think it's important for people to know, if they're considering working abroad, to also consider what that might look like rejoining an industry that's constantly moving at such a fast pace here in the UK.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for people to hear that someone who has had a long-standing career in the UK, who has now made a transition to working in Norway, how that looks from an outside eye, from being in it to being external, is it as well?
Yeah. I think you can definitely go in and out of both, though, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I only talk from my experience, and I also know that, say, like for people who maybe are in work like Punch Drunk, like I think this will be very easy to come back to the UK and work back here. I think that obviously it also really depends on what you're doing, what you like, what your interests are.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I should say, from my perspective, I don't necessarily have the desire to try and get back into work in the UK. If I had to, of course, I would do it, but it's not my desire to do it. So
yeah, that's valid. And I think it's important for us as artists to kind of listen to that prompting as well, so that we can come into the industry and go to the things that we have energy and time for, not just take the things because we have to.
Yeah.
So if we're able to be in a position where we can have a degree of choice in that, I think that's an important thing for us to remember, because often it's not as preached or spoken about as dancers. Amazing. I think that's a beautiful place for us to land for today's episode. So thank you so much for flying in, quite literally, for your time and just like sharing the realness of the experience of life here in the UK, as well as like your current life that you're building in Bergen, thriving with all the rain and all that good stuff. Just throwing that one in there.
It's facts though.
Yeah, no, it does rain quite a bit, but it also looks very beautiful. Anyway, thanks so much, Is. And massive thank you to everyone who is tuned in to Candid Convos in today's episode. If you have any specific topics that you would like for us to do, please just send us an email on info@jonadance.com, or you can send us a DM at Candid Convos with Jona Dance. And as I said earlier, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, engage, so we can bring you many more Candid Convos. Thank you so much, everyone, and until next time, I'll see you very soon.